Going through the most painful friendship breakup ever. Reddit, please listen to me. This might sound just as messed as it is in my mind, but please read this. Last year, I genuinely, platonically fell in love with this girl. We just had a connection I never felt before. I was always thinking about her. I loved her so much. And besides everything I absolutely adored her for, there was just something in me that loved her for no specific reason, no specific motive was behind that love. And I always assured her that that love could never be altered. I am extremely antisocial and miserably struggle with my mental health as well. And she was the first person, in my whole entire life, I'd felt safe with and genuinely loved and cared for. It was the first time I felt like I actually belonged on this planet. It felt so magical to finally be lit up, and I knew it was real, and I loved her so much. I had never genuinely cared for anyone except for her, as weird as it sounds. I was just so happy when she was with me. I genuinely would listen to her yap for hours about something that didn't even interest me in the slightest. But I hated it when she stopped because I just loved listening to her and I loved everything about her so deeply. It was very genuine, unconditional love. And she seemingly loved me as much back then as well. But recently, with the start of junior year, she seems to have met new people. We've both been extremely busy and I try to talk to her as much as possible when we can. And I was willing to lose sleep, get off my books, and do everything and anything to make sure I could make time for her. And why, recently it just feels like she was texting me, off. She kept telling me how she met this one girl IRL whom she feels so happy around, and it would kill me inside when she'd say that. Yet, I always showed her how happy I was for her to have found people who are actually good company for her. She hurt me dozens of times, but I always loved her the exact same. I would reassure her even after she hurt me, that I still love her and that nothing's changed. I just cared so much about her feelings, and I couldn't help being the reason she felt bad even if she did deserve to. A few days ago though, she told me how she was so mad at me, and in fact so mad, she couldn't even talk to me. I was shaking so hard I could barely walk myself to the bathroom at that very moment. She was my everything and I just about lost her. Mind you, I'm an extremely anxious person surrounding our friendship. She told me she'd seen my TWTACC and was mad that I was lying to her about being okay while I was posting SH pics. I genuinely never did that out of deceptive or manipulative intention. I just hated worrying her, and TBH, I just find it really hard to talk ABT myself sometimes. Anyway, I begged her to forgive me and told her multiple times that I'm willing to make any changes it takes in order to save the friendship. We talked it out. But I'm crying so hard right now. I feel so hopeless. She was my only hope. And the lengths I went against my parents and everything just to still be able to talk to her. I feel like she's just sick of me now, but doesn't want to admit it because she told me she'd love me so much, and that I'm irreplaceable. I've very much been replaced and she just doesn't feel it anymore. I feel so stupid because I still love her and I'm so terrified of losing her. I feel like I'd hung on for so long just for her. She was the only thing I'd look forward to. And she might be feeling responsible for my attachment to her. Although, I'd always told her that it would be very okay if she just frankly told me she doesn't want to continue the friendship for whatever reason, as long as she's happy. I feel so stupid for loving her so passionately because now I just feel like she loved that I loved her, but didn't actually love me the way she told me she did. Because clearly now that she's met good people, she's slowly becoming more and more distant. I think I just loved her so much. Because clearly now that she's met good people, she's slowly becoming more and more distant. I think she's trying to turn the tables and make it my fault that she leaves, to justify the fact that she just left because she just didn't want me anymore. I'm in so much pain. There's just so much that I had prepared for her, that I was so excited to show her. For example, for our junior hoodies we got to embroider custom patches and I dedicated them to our friendship. Even including the Spotify song code for L'amour de ma vie, which means the love of my life. I wrote her a birthday letter 6 months in advance and I keep going back, looking at it to see if I have new ideas, better things to say. I just loved her so much and I can't believe I'm losing her. Please speak your thoughts. I feel so lost. RN. We met in middle school and only got close last year when we'd already been separated for 2 years. Almost no contact. Edit. I want to add that ever since meeting her and loving her and experiencing a friendship with her, nothing and nobody else compares. I'd rather talk to her than do anything, literally anything. People telling me pick up a new hobby, I really do genuinely appreciate the advice, but it's gotten to the point where I can't eat, sleep, nor think straight. I also want to mention that English is not my first language and I don't live in a liberal community. Mental health is very taboo where I live. It's a very conservative community I'm surrounded by and professional help is not available whatsoever. LMAO.